Vacations. As soon as we hear this word, the first thing that comes into my mind is Airbnb. Airbnb has successfully disrupted the traditional hospitality industry. Since its inception in 2008, Airbnb has seen an enormous growth with the number of rental listings grow exponentially every year. So if you have a spare house that you're interested in hosting but are confused about the amenities to provide or price to charge, we are here to help you. Let me introduce you to my team, Random Forest Gump, who have worked very hard to make your life easy. Let me first start by explaining the problem statement. In Germany, no city is more popular than Berlin. With an area of 891 km square, Berlin has about 22,000 Airbnb listings. This translates to 25 homes being rented out per kilometer square of Berlin. Considering the possibility that I might have to relocate for a new data science job but want to keep my current flat in Berlin, I might wonder if it would be worth to offer my jewel on Airbnb. Could this perhaps be a profitable option? However, it is difficult for potential hosts to know what the true value of their home is and how in demand their home might be. And since location and furniture are obviously fixed for the most part, is there anything else a host can influence, such as description, communication patterns, and maybe additional services to boost their earnings? Today we have bought for all Airbnb hosts an R Shiny app that will help predict the price of a new listing at few clicks of a button. It will also provide you the occupancy rate you can expect every month. Isn't that amazing? Now you have to no longer worry about going to different vendors to find out a good price for your property. The convenience is on your fingertips. The app has been developed using advanced analytical techniques, details of which Shivendra and Siddharth will explain you shortly. Jeffrey will then provide a demonstration of using the app, which is easier than using washing machine at your homes. I'm sure by the end of this presentation, you would be wanting to have this app with you. Let me now call upon my teammate Shivendra to take this forward.
Thank you, Mehul. I will be explaining data cleaning and exploratory data analysis of our project. Coming to data cleaning and treatment. We have taken our data from Kaggle and it consists of around 22,000 observations and 96 variables. We have removed irrelevant parameters from our data based on our business understanding and the columns having greater than 40% null value as it won't be significant for our model. Now treatment of numerical and categorical value. We have converted all numerical variables into numeric class and categorical variables into categorical or factor class based on the data. We have replaced all missing values using the mode of that column. Similarly, for date variables, we have converted those into standard DD, MM, YYY format. Now outlier treatment. We have treated outliers based on two standard deviations of mean below and above, so that it's capping those values above two standard deviations from mean and flooring those values below two standard deviations from mean. Now coming to exploratory data analysis part. Based on the graph, you can see that the prices are higher on Friday and Saturday, which is quite obvious also. From the second graph, you can see the distribution of amenities in the listings. From this graph, we can see that TV and internet has variance in yes and no data, which might be significant for our model. From this graph, you can see the prices are higher at the heart of the city and lesser in the other areas. From the second graph, we can see that the neighborhood of Airbnb in Berlin city. We have done text analysis for our data which shows the impact of words, which will help a new host or a host listing his new house to set his house rules based on the impact of data or frequency of data and the connectivity of his house. The next part will be explained by Siddharth. Thanks.
Thank you, Shiv. Now through predictive analytics, we will explore the important factors to estimate the price. The first model that we have used is multiple linear regression. We split the data into train and test and use all the variables after data cleaning. We run the model and predict on test dataset. We find the test RMSE to be 22.896. Next, we use the random forest to identify important variables that determines the price. We set the number of trees as 500 and identify 9 important variables through random forest. Using these variables, we run the random forest regression to predict for the test dataset and we get a test RMSE as 22.621. Finally, we perform a gradient boosting regression on the important variables. We tune the number of trees as 1000 and perform a 10-fold cross validation. Based on the best iteration, we predict the model on the test data and we achieve an RMSE of 22.579. On comparing the three models based on lowest test RMSE, we select gradient boosting to estimate price. We've used R for this project because of its simple commands and it is user-friendly for dataset manipulation and model building. Also, the R-Shiny app, which is an open source GUI interface tool for generating and visualizing data and can be also hosted on web servers. We will have Jeffrey to demonstrate the Shiny app.
Thank you, Siddharth. Now that we have our model ready, let's look at how we can implement it through R-Shiny. Our R-Shiny app has on top the list of parameters which will be feeding into the model. The input selected by the user will be fed as parameters to the model and we will be able to predict the price. Let's have a closer look. So we've used a combination of slider inputs, radio buttons and select inputs for the user to feed his or her input. At the beginning we have a static map which has the listings across all neighborhood in Berlin, and for the given entries let's click update and see what do we get. So we get an estimated price. We also get a subset of all the listings in the neighborhood selected, and we also have the occupancy rates for the neighborhood selected. Now let's say I want to have TV in my listing, and let's click on update and see what happens to the price. Now that's interesting. Our estimated price has gone up from 70 euros to 79 euros by just including TV as one of the amenities. So that's an interesting observation. So for an investment of few $100s, you could potentially earn 9 euros for additional every day your house is being occupied. And for an occupancy rate of around 80%, that's a lot. You are earning more than what you invested in your TV. So that's a very interesting observation. Now let's play around with another round of simulation. So let's look at, for example, a listing. If I want to invest in Lichtenberg and I want to get a private room, let's keep our cancellation policy flexible. Let's increase the number of rooms. So for a new host who wants to have a neighborhood in Lichtenberg, a private room, 3 bedrooms and 3 restrooms, let's have internet included as well. Let's see what would be the estimated price. So it's 44 euros for this locality. So this is how the app works. You basically give in all of your inputs and we will be able to estimate for all of those inputs what is the price the host has to set for his listing. Now as an extension to the project, what we would have liked to do, we would have liked to do 2 things. One, we would have liked to create a dynamic word cloud. Well, why is that important? A new host would have to update on his listing a description about himself, the transit options, a description about the rules, a notes, a summary, and so on. For a new user, he may not be knowing what to exactly fill in. So if we had a dynamic word cloud based on whatever field he wants to fill, that would give him an idea of what are the keywords other users are using and update his accordingly. For this project, we were not able to do dynamically. We were only able to do it as a static function, and we've put them in our presentation. Another extension what we would like to consider is, for example, estimate the occupancy rate as well. Now, if I have the estimated price, which I already have, and the estimated occupancy rate, I will be able to predict what would be your estimated revenue across a year, across months, and across 1 or 2 years as well. So that will give me an idea for the host. If he chooses to invest X amount of euros, what would be his expected revenue at the end of a year? And this model would be able to also tell you whether or not your investment is sound or not. So that brings us end of the demonstration of the Shiny app. I hope you enjoyed it. Also, I would like to take this opportunity to thank our professors on the behalf of our entire team for giving us this wonderful opportunity to learn and present. Thank you.
To complete our R Shiny project, we have taken references from the links mentioned here.